near the coast. So, that's great. Now, we've also seen some leading organizations call everyone back to the office, right? So take, Tesla CEO, I guess it was in mid 2022, and just recently Amazon CEO Andy Jassy, early March 2023, calling people back to offices. Now, let's talk about the hybrid work for, just a bit. Why do we actually need hybrid work?
So I think we've realised the benefits of flexibility, okay, over the last few years. There's a kind of a shift where we've seen the movement from what was work-life balance. So I've stopped talking about work-life balance, really. I've started talking a lot more about work-life harmony, because these things are not trade-offs one against the other, and that's where hybrid work enables that level of flexibility for us to really prioritize both the things that are meaningful for us in our personal lives, but also what's meaningful for us in our work lives as well. So that kind of flexibility, I think, once you've had a taste of that, it's really difficult to change, and we need to sort of prioritize that. But I also think there's, offices have a really, really key part to play in the future of work. They really do, right? So we are investing in our office estate and our office buildings across the UK to make them great places to go. So the difference here is that our offices need to be places that almost those hubs that you look forward to going to, where you can supercharge your activities via that human connection. So we started in the early days of the pandemic talking about how offices were a place that we go to collaborate. And I became convinced that that's a myth, right? Because we go to offices for a sense of human connection.
Yeah.
We go for an office for a sense of community. If we have those two things, human connection plus community equals collaboration. So collaboration is almost the byproduct of those two things. So it's how we make sure that our offices are now set up for that. People don't want to go to offices where you've got a postage stamp size monitor, right? Which is going to be,
True.
it's from sort of, way back in the day when work was, it's sort of when we were working, the first initial computers. And let's not, I've been around to some of our offices and I've spotted a few of those monitors still knocking around, and all kinds of things that sort of show that doesn't work. And also the other thing is we've now set our teams up, because we had to move so quickly during the pandemic. We were able to set our teams up with really excellent work from home spaces. So they had the technology, they had the kit, the environment. I'm at a standing desk right now in my home office. This was something that we were able to mobilize for our teams and for the people that needed them for home, to make sure they had a safe environment. So that's another really interesting one, because it's that kind of concept of health and safety and well-being that kind of bleeds now into the home. So what's my home working setup environment like? And that's why another reason why offices will play such an important part, because we recognize that right across our organization, we have people at very different life stages. We have people there with very different sort of living arrangements. Multiple generations in a household. You may be living in one room, right? So from when you think about how that impacts you and your work-life harmony, if you are eating in the same room as you're sleeping and you're working, then actually it's really, really important to have somewhere else that you can go, that other space where you can go, and which is why we really believe that offices will be a key part in the future, but they just need to be excellent.
Yeah, they talk. So I 100% agree with the first point you made, that work-life balance. Sorry for for the word, but I think it's a bullshit discussion. Achieving work-life balance is not a good thing, because what you do is actually you kind of balance what pain, which is work, and pleasure, which is life.
Absolutely.
It becomes a zero-sum game, but that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you balance work if you actually have fun doing work, or if you have a good time doing work? So why balance that? I never got this discussion, so I 100% agree
Yeah,
to that.
absolutely. And it's this concept of, we want to try and create an organization and a place where people come to work, where people really love what they do, right? That's what we want to do. a large financial institution. In a really interesting, exciting phase. But with so many colleagues, so we've got around sort of 58,000 colleagues, all with very different needs and requirements. But we want to make sure that we've got a real purpose, right? Helping Britain prosper is our purpose, and that is, it means something to the people, and we want to make sure that people really feel connected to that purpose, and are really excited and are happy and love to come to work here. So it's a combination of creating the right environments for that to happen and for people to thrive, providing the right opportunities for people to develop their skills with us, but also looking at how do we start to create the propositions from a people perspective that are fit for this next stage of our journey.
Absolutely. I mean, if you feel so exhausted after work, if you need to balance what you're doing during work time, go work somewhere else, right? That it just doesn't work out. Yeah.
Exactly. And one of the things we've realized, right, is there is a level of the concept of VUCA, which we've talked about, like sort of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, is only going to rise. And we saw of people starting to make across the sort of global workforce, people making decisions post pandemic, thinking, do you know what, I want to make a change to my life, right? So that's kind of and that, I think that will continue. People will think, right, well, what is it I want to do? What gives me purpose, my own personal purpose, and how do I link to finding something that gives me joy, and finding a place that I love to work? And that's what we're trying to create at Lloyds Banking Group, a place where colleagues and people love to work, and want to come and work with us.